So dear students, in today's topic, we'll be covering another 10 topics, and in this particular 10 topics, we'll be looking into in what manner that particular 10 topic is related with current affairs, at the same time how it came in newspaper too. And don't miss the previous videos. Try to have absolute clarity in the previous videos too and in the coming videos. Now let's look into the 10 topics. The first one is the constitutional validity of Aadhaar. That's the discussion is about what's the constitutional validity of Aadhaar, and the verdict came from the apex court. Second one is the question hour and zero hour to be restored in the budget session. And third one is the company's corporate social responsibility policy, that is the CSR policy amendment rules 2021. And next one is Akash-NG Missile. Then India Justice Report. The next one is the new guidelines to banks on Foreign Contribution Regulation Act rules. Liberalization of geospatial data. Pulse Polio program for 2021. Portal for gig workers. And deposits of lithium in Mandya districts of Karnataka. So in our today's series, we'll be discussing these 10 topics, that is deposits of lithium in Mandya districts of Karnataka, portal for gig workers, Pulse Polio program for 2021, liberalization of geospatial data, new guidelines to bank on Foreign Contribution Regulation Act rules, India Justice Report 2020, Akash-NG Missile, Companies Corporate Social Responsibility Policy Amendment Rules 2021, question hour and zero hour to be restored in the budget session, and constitutional validity of Aadhaar. Now let's come to the first topic, that is the constitutional validity of Aadhaar. Now this was the discussion. This is the current affair related to a 5-judge bench headed by then Chief Justice Deepak Mishra had upheld the Aadhaar Act in a 4:1 ruling on September 26, 2018. The Supreme Court has dismissed petition seeking a review of its 2018 judgment upholding the constitutional validity of the Aadhaar Act, with Justice D.Y. Chandrachud dissenting, saying the court should wait till a larger bench decides the question of certification of a bill as a money bill before deciding the review petition. So that is the discussion what happened. Once again, a 5-judge bench headed by then Chief Justice Deepak Mishra had upheld the Aadhaar Act in 4:1 ruling on September 26, 2018. Now here the Aadhaar bill had been certified by the government as a money bill, enabling it to clear without getting the assent of a majority in the Rajya Sabha. The majority judgment was, we have pursued the review petition as well as the ground in support thereof. In our opinion, no case for review of judgment and order dated 26/9/2018 is made out. We hasten to add that change in the law or subsequent decision or judgment of a coordinate or the larger bench by itself cannot be regarded as a ground for review. The review petition are accordingly dismissed. So this was the discussion. Now in the newspaper, it came in this manner: Aadhaar verdict. Supreme Court upholds validity of Aadhaar, sets condition for use. This was the discussion. Now the most important thing is regarding clarity. What is a money bill and what is an ordinary bill? And there should be absolute understanding in connection with the article of Indian Constitution. That can be a related question. Now here, Aadhaar Act as money bill, a fraud in the Constitution, says Justice Chandrachud, and pronounced dissent judgment. That was the discussion. A constitutional bench of the Supreme Court led by Chief Justice of India Deepak Mishra has upheld the validity of Aadhaar but with riders. It has struck down section 57 that allows private entity to seek Aadhaar data but has allowed the unique number to be used for government schemes and subsidies. That's the discussion. So it has struck down section 57 that allows private entities to seek Aadhaar data but has allowed the unique number to be used for government schemes and subsidies. The 5-judge bench also comprises Justice A.K. Sikri, A.M. Khanvilkar, D.V. Chandrachud, and Ashok Bhushan. Among them, Justice Chandrachud dissented and declared Aadhaar was not valid. Now, that's the discussion. And what is the dissenting judgment? I'll just read the dissenting judgment just for having clarity. Justice Chandrachud said two of the critical questions dealt with the Aadhaar ruling were whether the decision of the Speaker of the House of People to certify bill as a money bill under Article 110 Clause 1 is final and binding or can be subject to judicial review. So that is why I told you should have an idea what is money bill, what is Article 110 Clause 1, and the dissenting judgment continues in this manner. If the decision is subject to judicial review, whether Aadhaar targeted delivery of financial and other subsidy benefit service act 2016, the Aadhaar act had been correctly certified as a money bill. So in this total discussion, as I mentioned in the newspaper, it is came as Supreme Court uphold validity of Aadhaar sets condition for use. Aadhaar act as a money bill, a fraud in the constitution, says Justice Chandrachud and pronounced dissent judgment. That was a news which came in the newspaper. At the same time, you should have the constitutional understanding in connection with Article 10, because Article 10 and money bill as it is in current affairs discussion. Let's come to the next topic, that is question hour and 0 hour to be restored in the budget session. So question hour and 0 hour to be restored in the budget session, that was the discussion. So as an aspirant, you should have clarity what is question hour and what is its significance. So question hour is the liveliest hour in parliament, we all know. It is during this 1 hour that members of parliament ask questions of ministers and hold them accountable for the functioning of their ministries. So question hour is the liveliest hour in parliament, and during this time or during this 1 hour that members of parliament ask questions of ministers and hold them accountable for functioning of their ministries. The question that MPs ask are designed to elicit information and trigger suitable action by ministers or suitable action by ministries too. Over the last 70 years, MPs have successfully used this parliamentary device to shine light on government functioning. Their questions have exposed financial irregularities and brought data and information regarding government functioning to the public domain. With the broadcasting of question hour since 1991, question hour has become one of the most visible aspects of parliamentary functioning. So that's about question hour. Now, what is 0 hour? While question hour is strictly regulated, 0 hour is an Indian parliamentary innovation that is important. 0 hour is an Indian parliamentary innovation. The phrase does not find mention in the rules of procedure. The concept of 0 hour started originally in the first decade of Indian parliament when MPs felt the need for raising important constituency and national issues. So here, during the initial days, parliament used to break for lunch at 1 p.m. Therefore, the opportunity for MPs to raise national issues without advance notice became visible at 12 p.m. and could last for an hour until the house adjourned for lunch. So that is what called the 0 hour from 12 to 1. So in the initial days, parliament used to break for lunch at 1 p.m. Therefore, the opportunity for MPs to raise national issues without advance notice became available at 12 p.m. and could last for an hour until the house adjourned for lunch. This led to the hour being popularly referred as 0 hour. So that's why we are calling it as 0 hour, because it's starting at 0000 to 13. So that is from 12 to 1 o'clock. So that is what called 0 hour. So this led to the hour being popularly referred to as 0 hour and the issues being raised during this time as 0 hour submissions. Over the years, presiding officers of both houses have given direction to streamline the working of 0 hour to make it even more effective. Its importance can be gauged from the support it received from citizens, media, MPs and presiding officers despite not being part of the rule book. So 0 hour, once again I'm telling, it's not there in the rule book, but it is having high attention from the side of citizens, media, MPs and the presiding officers too. So that's about question hour and 0 hour to be restored in the budget session that was there in the discussion. So as an aspirant, you should have clarity. What is question hour? What is 0 hour? What is the practice of, what all are the practices of question hour and what is 0 hour? 0 hour is not there in the discussion. Actually, that is, it is not there in the rule book, and why it is having this much of significance and from what point of view we are telling it as 0 hour, it should be there in your mind. Now the next one is Companies Corporate Social Responsibility Policy Amendment Rules 2011. So companies social responsibility or corporate social responsibility, it is in short we can tell CSR. So Company CSR Policy Amendment Rules 2021, that is Corporate Affairs Ministry MCA has introduced several changes to the CSR framework. So obviously, right from the fundamental point of view, you should have an idea what a CSR is about. That should be very clear what is CSR and what is a fundamental static area you're supposed to cover. You should have that in your mind. Right from the current affair, they can move to CSR because now companies' corporate social responsibility policy amendment 2021 is in discussion. These rules may be called the company's corporate social responsibility policy amendment rules 2021, and the new provision, we can understand the new provision like this: every entity that intends to undertake any CSR activity will have to register itself with the central government by filling the form CSR 1 electronically with the registrar of companies with effect from April 1, 2021. So it's having high specificity with the date. At the same time, it's having high specificity in connection with where to register. So every entity that intends to undertake any CSR activity will have to register itself with the central government by filling the form CSR 1 electronically with the registrar of companies with effect from April 1, 2021. From CSR 1 shall be signed and submitted electronically by the entity and shall be verified digitally. On the submission of the form CSR 1 on the portal, a unique CSR registration number shall be generated by the system automatically. So there is a new changes and new provision. From CSR 1 shall be signed and submitted electronically by the entity and shall be verified digitally. At the same time, on the submission of the form CSR 1 on the portal, a unique CSR registration number, again there is specificity, a unique CSR registration number shall be generated by the system automatically. Now, companies undertaking CSR activities will have to share impact assessment for big CSR projects. So that is very, very important. What is the impact and what is the impact assessment for big CSR projects? Carry forward and set off CSR expenditure annual action plan for CSR by board every year in addition to CSR policy. Tweaks in reporting formats of board report. So these are the three activities the company should undertake. Companies undertaking CSR activities will have to share impact assessment for big CSR projects, carry forward and set off CSR expenditure, annual action plan for CSR by board every year in addition to CSR policy, and third one, tweaks in reporting formats of board report. Now, mandatory disclosure of CSR project and activities on the company website, capital asset acquisition and its holding restricted to 3 bodies broadly. In the event of the company failing to spend the earmarked 2% of net profit towards CSR, it will have to specify the reason for not spending the amount. And unless the unspent amount relates to any ongoing project, transfer it to a government notified fund. So it's very clear right now, capital asset acquisition and its holding restricted to 3 bodies broadly. At the same time, mandatory disclosure of CSR projects and activities on the company website. And in the event of the company failing to spend the earmarked 2% of net profit towards CSR, it will have to specify the reasons for not spending the amount. And unless the unspent amount relates to any ongoing project, transfer it to a government notified fund. So that's the discussion. Now next one is Akash-NG Missile. DRDO conducted the successful maiden launch of Akash-NG, that is new generation. So N stands for new and G stands for generation. So DRDO conducted successful maiden launch of Akash-NG new generation missile from integrated test range off the coast of Odisha on 25th January 2021. Now Akash-NG is a new generation surface to air missile meant for use by Indian Air Force with an aim of intercepting high maneuvering low RCS aerial threats. So that is the specificity what is Akash-NG or Akash new generation is about. Akash-NG is a new generation surface to air, once again surface to air missile meant for use by Indian Air Force with an aim of intercepting high maneuvering low RCS aerial threats. The missile intercepted the target with textbook precision. So that was the news about in newspapers and all. It came that the missile intercepted the target with the textbook precision. The Akash-NG system has been developed with better deployability compared to other similar systems with canisterized launcher and a much smaller ground system footprint. The test launch was carried out by a combined team of DRDO, BDL and BEL in the presence of the representatives of Indian Air Force. It will also increase the overall range from the current 40 km to greater than 80 km. That is another discussion related to Akash-NG. The development of Akash-NG next generation was approved in September 2016 with a funding of rupees 470 crores. Akash new generation missile system can target aircraft up to 50 to 60 km away at altitude up to 18,000 meters. So that is the capacity the Akash new generation missile system can target aircraft up to 50 to 60 km away at altitude up to 18,000 meters. So this was a discussion came in PIB, that is on 25th January 2021, very close this year, the starting month January, Ministry of Defense. Successful maiden test launch of Akash-NG Missile. This was the discussion. And in neat and clean manner they explained, DRDO conducted the successful maiden launch of Akash-NG new generation missile from integrated test range off the coast of Odisha on 25th January 2021. Akash-NG is a new generation surface-to-air missile meant for use by Indian Air Force with an aim of intercepting high maneuvering low RCS aerial threats. And the explanation, the missile intercepted the target with textbook precision. The launch met all the test objectives by performing high maneuvers during the trajectory. The performance of the command and control system, onboard avionics and aerodynamics configuration of the missile was successfully validated during the trial. During the test launch, entire flight path of the missile was monitored and the flight data was captured by various range instruments such as radar, UATS and telemetry system deployed by ITR Chandipur. The multifunction radar was tested for its capability of integration with the system. So, absolute clarity as it is conveyed by the PIB about Akash-NG. You should have idea about the radar, EOTS and telemetry system deployed by ITR Chandipur related to Akash. And the Akash-NG system has been developed with better deployability compared to other similar system with canistered launcher and much smaller ground system footprint. The test launch was carried out by a combined team of DRDO, BDL, BEL in the presence of representatives of Indian Air Force. That was a discussion related to Akash-NG in the PIB. Now try to have more clarity regarding Akash-NG. At the same time, try to have understanding about the rest missiles of India which is developed by DRDO. So you will have static conventional clarity regarding the missiles because Akash-NG is in news. Obviously, UPSC can ask Akash-NG or new generation, or they can ask other missiles which is developed by DRDO or by the government of India. Now next one is India Justice Report 2020. The report has tracked the progress states have made in the capacity building of the justice delivery structure to effectively deliver services to all, and has taken account of the latest statistics and situations as they existed prior to March 2021. It has brought statistics on the 4 pillars of justice delivery: police, judiciary, prisons, and legal aid. So, India Justice Report 2020, when you look, it has brought together statistics on the 4 pillars of justice delivery, and the 4 pillars of the justice delivery are police, judiciary, prison, and legal aid. In terms of justice delivery, Maharashtra has been ranked at the top of the 18 large and mid-sized states, followed by Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Punjab, and Kerala. Among the small states, Tripura has ranked at the top, followed by Sikkim and Goa. In terms of prisons in the states, Rajasthan is in the top position in the last state due to better budget utilization, reduction in the overcrowding in prisons, and more officers, cadre, and women staff. So, in terms of justice delivery, Maharashtra has been ranked at the top of the 18 large and mid-sized, followed by Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Punjab, and Kerala. So, it is Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Punjab, and Kerala. Among the small states, Tripura has ranked at the top, followed by Sikkim and Goa. In terms of prisons in the states, Rajasthan is in top position in last stage due to better budget utilization, reduction in the overcrowding in prisons, and more officers, cadre, and women staff. Now, Himachal Pradesh, showing great improvement, has gone from rank 6th last year to rank 1st this year. While it has been found that women comprise only 29% of judges in India, their participation has increased from 7% in 2017 to up to 10% now in police and 10% up to 13% in present. So it has been found that women comprise only 29% of judges in India. Their participation has increased from 7% in 2017 to up to 10% now in police, and from 10 to up to 13% in prisons. In the last 25 years, since 1995, only 1.5 crore people have received legal aid, though 80% of the country's population is entitled to it. The report has noted that the per capita spend of legal aid has increased to Rs 1.05 from 75 paisa in 2017 and 2018. So that is the report is telling. The report has noted that the per capita spend on legal aid, the per capita spend of the legal aid has increased to Rs 1 rupee 5 paisa from 1 rupee 5 paisa from 75 paisa, that is in 2017 and 18. So the India Justice Report is an initiative of Tata Trust in collaboration with the Center for Social Justice, Common Cause, Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, Daksh, Tis Prayas, with the Center for Legal Policy and How India Lives. So this is an initiative of Tata Trust in collaboration with the Center for Social Justice, Common Cause, Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, Daksh, Tis Prayas, with the Center for Legal Policy and How India Lives. Next topic is new guidelines to bank on Foreign Contribution Regulation Act rules. The discussion is in this manner. The Ministry of Home Affairs has laid down a charter for banks which says that donation received in Indian rupees by non-government organizations and associations from any foreign source, even if that source is located in India, at the time of such donation should be treated as foreign contribution. So that is it right from the side of the Ministry of Home Affairs. The Ministry of Home Affairs has laid down a charter for banks which says that donation received in Indian rupees, once again, donation received in Indian rupees by NGOs and association from any foreign source, if that source is located in India at the time of such donation, should be treated as foreign contribution. As per the existing rules, all banks have to report to the central government within 48 hours the receipt or utilization of any foreign contribution by any NGO, association or person, whether or not they are registered or granted prior permission under the FCRA. So Foreign Contribution Regulation Act again is in discussion, so FCRA should be clear. And as per the existing rules, all banks have to report to the central government within 48 hours the receipt or utilization of any foreign contribution by any NGO, association or person, whether or not they are registered or granted prior permission under FCRA. So the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010 was amended by Parliament, a new provision that makes it mandatory for all the NGOs receive foreign fund in a designated bank account at the State Bank of India's New Delhi branch was inserted. So the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010 was amended, that's the news, by Parliament, and new provision that make it mandatory for all NGOs to receive foreign funds in a designated bank account at the State Bank of India's New Delhi branch was inserted. And in the newspaper it came with a different heading, that is India tightens oversight on fund received by NGO. The Hindu newspaper reported new guidelines to bank on Foreign Contribution Regulation Act rules. So it's very clear, it's direct. It's telling that new guidelines to banks on Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. The Ministry of Home Affairs has laid down a charter for banks which says that donation received in Indian rupees by non-government organizations and associations from any foreign source, if that source is located in India at the time of such donation, should be treated as foreign contribution. So that's the discussion. Now, as per the existing rules, all banks have to report to the central government within 48 hours the receipt or utilization of any foreign contribution by any NGO, association or person, whether or not they are registered or granted prior permission under the FCRA. The same, what I mentioned, came in the newspaper. Next topic is liberalization of geospatial data. The government announced liberalization of policies governing the acquisition and production of geospatial data, a move that will help in boosting innovation in the sector and create a level playing field for public and private entities. So the first point is, what is geospatial data? From conventional static area, you should have an idea. And the government announced liberalization of policies governing the acquisition and production of geospatial data. So it's a move that will help in boosting innovation in the sector and create a level playing field create a level playing field for public and private entities. Under the new guideline, the sector will be deregulated and aspects like approvals have been done away with. Now, for Indian entities, there will be complete deregulation with no prior approvals, security clearances, licenses for acquisition and production of geospatial data and geospatial data services, including maps. So once again, for Indian entities, there will be complete deregulation with no prior approvals, security clearances, licenses for acquisition and production of geospatial data and geospatial data services, including maps. So the reform will benefit countries' farmers, startups, private sectors, public sector, and research institutions to drive innovations and build scalable solutions. So this particular liberalization and this reform on geospatial data will benefit the country's farmers. It will benefit the startups. It will benefit the private sector. It will benefit the public sector, and it will benefit the research institution to drive innovations and build scalable solutions. The easing of norms will greatly help in several sectors that were suffering because of non-availability of maps. So availability of maps is very, very crucial to make exact precision decisions and procedures. So the easing of norms will greatly help in several sectors that were suffering because of non-availability of maps. Earlier, even the Survey of India, the agency entrusted with making maps, had to seek permission for mapping, thus delaying its work by at least 3 to 6 months. The move will unlock tremendous opportunities for the country's startups, private sector, public sector, and research institutions to drive innovations and building scalable solutions. At the same time, this step will generate employment and accelerate economic growth. Now, this was the news with a clear map of India. In the Hindu newspaper, India is putting out its mapping geospatial data available for general use. So it's very clear for the common. India is putting out its mapping geospatial data available for general use, the Hindu. India has so far been reliant on foreign resources for mapping technologies and services. So that was the heading came, and the announcement comes at a time when advances in mapping technology, including aerial vehicles, mobile mapping system, and LIDAR and radar sensors, are giving a lift to innovation in e-commerce, logistics, and urban transportation sector. So Hindu is telling the direct advantage of all this liberalization, that is, the announcement comes at a time when advances in mapping technology, including aerial vehicles, mobile mapping system, and LIDAR and radar sensors are giving a lift to innovation in e-commerce, logistics, and urban transportation sector. India's Department of Science and Technology on Monday opened access to its geospatial data and services, including maps, for all Indian entities by saying what is readily available globally does not need to be regulated. The move is set to release a lot of data that is currently restricted and not available for free. That was a news related to in the newspaper. That is, Indian Department of Science and Technology on Monday opened access to its geospatial data. Since it came in the newspaper, I'm just reading the Monday itself. So India's Department of Science and Technology opened access to its geospatial data and services, including maps, for all Indian entities by saying what is readily available globally does not need to be regulated. The move is set to release a lot of data that is currently restricted and not available for free. The update represents a major change in the country's mapping policy, which earlier required individuals and companies to seek approval for use of mapping data under the Geospatial Information Regulation Act 2016. So the fundamental static area regarding the same, that is the Geospatial Information Regulation Act 2016, in the context of liberalization of geospatial data, you should have clarity in Geospatial Information Regulation Act 2016 is about. So geospatial data includes location information about natural or man-made, physical or imaginary features, whether above the ground or below, boundaries, points of interest, natural phenomena, mobility data, weather patterns, and other statistical information. So geospatial data includes location information about natural or man-made, physical or imaginary features, whether above the ground or below, boundaries, point of interest, natural phenomena, mobility data, weather patterns, and other statistical information. So that's related to geospatial liberalization. So try to have absolute clarity what is geospatial data is about, at the same time what is the current affairs related to, and at the same time what is the static area you are supposed to have clarity in your mind. I told the most important thing is what is geospatial data is about should be clear in your mind. At the same time, what is Geospatial Information Regulation Act 2016? These are the static area and conventional GK area related to geospatial science. At the same time, liberalization and its new chances are the current affairs. Next topic is related to Pulse Polio program for 2021. President Ramnath Kovind launched the program on the eve of the Polio National Immunization Day by administering polio drop to children less than 5 years old at Rashtrapati Bhavan. The day is also popularly known as Polio Revivor. This was a basic discussion. Now, Universal Immunization Program is focusing to protect children from more diseases than ever before and has introduced several new vaccines like pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, rotavirus vaccine, measles rubella vaccine in the recent past. A direct question UPSC asked in 2020, you should have absolute clarity. You can watch Science and Technology, my analysis video, you should watch that compulsory. If you watch, you will understand how UPSC framed a question from pneumococcal conjugate vaccine. So here again, Universal Immunization Program is focusing to protect children from more diseases than ever before and has introduced several new vaccines like pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, rotavirus vaccine and measles rubella vaccine in the recent past. The lesson learned from polio program are being implemented to strengthen routine immunization by carrying out Mission Indradhanush, Gram Swaraj Abhiyan, Extended Gram Swaraj Abhiyan and Intensified Mission Indradhanush 1 and 2. All these are static area which you should have clarity. What is Mission Indradhanush? What is Gram Swaraj Abhiyan? What is Extended Gram Swaraj Abhiyan? And Intensified Mission Indradhanush 1 and 2. A drive towards 90% full immunization coverage of India by year 2018 to sustain it thereafter. The statement explains in that manner in the discussion. Now, PIB conveyed the same data in detail and all the newspaper also covered. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare on 30th January 2021, the last days of January. On 30th January 2021, PIB Delhi came with this press release. President of India launches countrywide Pulse Polio program for 2021. More than 17 crore children will be given polio drops during Polio Revivor. Once again, Polio Revivor tomorrow. A decade of being polio free, last case in 2011, Dr. Harshvardhan. Collective efforts of states, UTs, healthcare workers, volunteers, civil society organization has kept India polio free for 3 decades. This was a 4 major headings under this particular news right from Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So collective efforts of states, UTs, healthcare workers, volunteers, civil society organization has kept India polio free for 3 decades. That was the discussion. And the same you can see in the PIB, Honorable President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind launched the Pulse Polio program for 2021 today by administering polio drops to children less than 5 years old at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in the presence of Dr. Harshvardhan, Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and Shri Ashwini Kumar Chaubey, Ministry of State for Health and Family Welfare. This was the discussion. And in detail, what is the program is about and the complete detail of the same. So I'll read that particular discussion. The Honorable President and First Lady Srimati Savitha Kovind administered polio drops to children on the eve of the Polio National Immunization Day, which is observed on 31st January 2021 Sunday, also popularly known as Polio Revivor. Around 17 crore children of less than 5 years of age will be given polio drops as a part of the drive of Government of India to sustain polio-free status of the country. The country's countrywide drive and will be supported by about 24 lakh volunteers, 1.5 lakh supervisors and many civil society organizations, WHO, UNICEF, Rotary, etc. Healthcare workers will be visiting as many as 2 crore households to ensure that no child is left without the protection of the polio vaccine. So that was the discussion. And in newspaper you can see with a beautiful picture, President launches Pulse Polio program in Hindu newspaper. President Ramnath Kovind administered polio drops to a child at the Rashtrapati Bhavan on January 30, 2021 to launch the first round of Pulse Polio program 2021. So here what I am trying to tell, the exact current affair, the clarity in current affairs you should have. At the same time, about the earlier programs by the government of India, Mission Indradhanush 1 and 2, all that should be there in your mind. Above all, you should have idea about the scientific details regarding polio and polio vaccines. Next one is portal for gig workers or portal for gig workers. Presenting the Union Budget for 2021, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said the government also proposed setting up a portal to collect information on gig workers, building and construction workers, among others. The government said social security benefits will be extended to platforms and gig workers. So, since gig workers is in discussion, you can expect statement-related questions right from gig workers. So, presenting the Union Budget for 2021-2022, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said the government also proposed setting up a portal to collect information on gig workers, building and construction workers, among others. The gig economy is a free market system in which temporary positions are common and organizations hire independent workers for short-term commitment. So the future economy is going to be with lot of gig workers, that is, gig economy is a free market system where specialized personalities will be getting high attention and they will be accommodated by big companies. So gig economy is a free market system in which temporary positions are common and organizations hire independent workers for short-term commitment, for short-term specialized work, and they'll be engaging with that particular work for a short time, and again they'll move for the next company with another short term. It can be for 1 year, 2 year contracts like. The initiative aim at labor security and social security. So in newspaper, the same discussion came in this manner: portal to collect data on gig workers in budget. The Hindu. It helps in formulating health, housing, skill, insurance, credit and food schemes for migrant workers, says Minister. So Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Monday announced the launch of a portal to collect information on gig, building and construction workers, among others, to formulate welfare schemes for migrant workers as a part of her budget 2021-22 speech. So once again, it helps in formulating health, housing, skill, insurance, credit and food schemes for migrant workers, says Minister. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Madam, on Monday announced the launch of a portal to collect information on gig, building and construction workers, among others, to formulate welfare scheme for migrant workers as a part of her speech, that is as a part of her budget speech 2021-22. Now, what she conveyed in this particular speech: we have launched One Nation, One Ration Card scheme, through which beneficiaries can claim their rations anywhere in the country. Migrant workers in particular benefit from this scheme. Those staying away from their homes can partially claim their ration where they are stationed, while their family in their native place can claim the rest, she said. Now, the next discussion related to deposits of lithium in Mandya districts of Karnataka. So, lithium is in news, the science behind lithium, at the same time the static area regarding lithium, the resource, right, the resource development in connection with lithium, all is important. Or from where we are getting lithium, that is also important. Preliminary surveys on the surface and limited surface by the Atomic Minerals Directorate for Exploration and Research, that is what called AMD, Atomic Minerals Directorate for Exploration and Research, a constituent unit of the Department of Atomic Energy, has shown the presence of lithium resource of 1,600 tons in fourth category in the pegmatites of Marlagala, Allapatna area, Mandya district, Karnataka. So deposits of lithium in Mandya districts of Karnataka, that was a discussion. Preliminary surveys on the surface and limited subsurface by the Atomic Minerals. So Atomic Minerals Directorate for Exploration and Research is in news. So you should have an idea about Atomic Minerals also. So Atomic Minerals Directorate for Exploration and Research, AMD, a constituent unit of the Department of Atomic Energy, has shown the presence of lithium resource of 1,600 tons in third category in the pegmatites of Marlagala, Allapatna area, Mandya district, Karnataka. Now, lithium is a key element for new technologies and find it used in ceramics, glass, telecommunication and aerospace industry. This is what I told in the starting. You should have an idea what is the aid and use of lithium in detail. The well-known uses of lithium are lithium-ion batteries, we know that. Other than that, lubricating grease, high energy additive to rocket propellants, optical modulators for mobile phones, and as a converter to tritium used as a raw material for thermonuclear reactions, that is fusion. So the well-known use of lithium are lithium-ion batteries, lubricating grease, high energy additive to rocket propellants, optical modulators for mobile phones, and as a converter to tritium used as a raw material for thermonuclear reaction, that is fusion. Now, the thermonuclear application makes lithium a prescribed substance under the Atomic Energy Act 1962, which permit AMD for exploration of lithium in various geological domains of the country. And that is another significant area, another base you are supposed to have in your mind in connection with lithium. The thermonuclear application makes lithium a prescribed substance under the Atomic Energy Act 1962. And Atomic Energy Act 1962, the fundamental clarity should be there, which permit AMD for exploration of lithium in various geological domains of the country. Due to the continuously increasing demand for lithium-ion batteries, the requirement for lithium has increased over the last few years. Now, right from the Department of Atomic Energy, the PIB news came on 3rd February. So we moved to February 2021 in connection with national. We started from August, September 2021. Slowly we moved to August, September, October, November, December, January. Now we are in February. So February 2021, PIB as such conveyed, parliamentary survey shows deposits of lithium in Mandya districts of Karnataka. This was the news from PIB, Department of Atomic Energy. Parliamentary survey shows deposits of lithium in Mandya districts of Karnataka. The same discussion, government today said the preliminary surveys on surface and limited surface by Atomic Minerals Directorate for Exploration and Research, a constituent unit of Department of Atomic Energy, has shown in presence of lithium resource of 1,600 tons inferred category in the pegmatite of Marlagala and Alapatna area, Mandya districts of Karnataka. This was the discussion. And the lithium as a key element for new technologies find its use in ceramics, glass, telecommunication and aerospace industries are conveyed that one. So the significance and quantity of lithium resource in Marlagala, Alapatna area, Mandya districts of Karnataka may be established only after the completion of exploration in the entire area. Subsequently, plan for commercial exploitation of lithium deposits can commence after the technical, social and economic feasibility studies in the area. That was the discussion in the PIB. At the same time, this information was given by the Union Minister of State, Independent Charge Development of Northeastern Region, MOS, PMO, Personal Public Grievance, Pension, Atomic Energy and Space, Dr. Jitendra Singh in a written reply in the Lok Sabha today. That was the last paragraph which is given in the PIB discussion related to preliminary survey shows deposits of lithium in Mandya districts of Karnataka, right from the Department of Atomic Energy on 3rd February 2021. So my dear students, we covered another 10 topics of national issues. National issues is very crucial as far as UPSC preliminary examination is concerned. At the same time, absolute clarity should be there in your mind in connection with current affairs towards preliminary, at the same time towards main examination. So as a series, we are discussing 10 topics each in all the videos and try to have absolute clarity in all the 10 topics and don't skip. It's a big series. That is, after national, we'll be moving to international, then we'll be moving to environment and ecology, then we'll be moving to economic and social development, then we'll be moving to science and technology. So before getting into this video, before getting clarity in current affairs, compulsory you should watch what UPSC asked in 2020 and 2017, 18 and 19 and try to understand the nature and character in in-depth manner to get this series with clarity. At the same time, don't skip working out question paper. That is very decisive in connection with your preliminary examination. The premium preliminary question paper which is there with you, try to solve it with absolute precision and read the answer key details with presence of mind. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next series. At the same time, we'll be meeting with the rest current affairs, the next current affairs of national issues. So have a great time. Thank you.